Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Scraptember and 30 days of sketches. Today's sketch is from Susanna Lee, and I had fun with this sketch. I really like it. It's a little bit different, and I'm getting 4 photos on a page, so that's super exciting. I have 4 photos of Noah and his dad at the beach, and they are just close-ups of their faces. You got the sky behind them, but otherwise there's not a whole lot more to the photos. But I decided to go ahead and embrace the blues, and I went a little bit monochromatic here. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you're gonna get to see a little monochromatic. So here I'm just choosing my photos. I'm choosing my papers. I'm trying to find papers that I think will go well together and don't lean too far towards purple. I'd rather have them lean a little bit more towards aqua than purple. Although that piece that I just set down has a little bit of a purple hue to it. So I'm kind of just mixing them in there, and I'm going to cut them. And I don't really show you the cutting because my caterpillar is a little bit off to the side there. And so I didn't measure any of them. I just cut them. They're like between 2 inches and maybe 1 inch wide. And what I'm doing here is I'm using my centering ruler to mark the center of each one, so that I can give it that fishtail look. Now this piece I will have to go and trim it off to be flat across the bottom before I can do that, but that is basically what I'm doing. And the centering ruler is excellent for that because you can just find the measurements on either side of the zero, make them match on either side, and then you've got the center. And so it's an easy way to make these fishtails almost perfect. I know there's a lot of ways, like folding it in half and then cutting it, but that bends my paper usually. Or I know another way is to use like a square punch or a diamond punch, basically, and put the tip of the square or the diamond towards the middle of the paper and cut it, but I always get it off centered. So for me, this is how I do it, and that's what works, and I like it that way. So that's what I'm doing. So now I'm just trying to figure out the layers and how I want them layered up, but I quickly decide that I want them inked. So I pull out some Distress Oxide ink, and I believe that is Salty Ocean. I think that's the name of it. And so I kind of wonder if my ink is pooling on the ink pad. You can see it's a little darker blue on the top than at the bottom, and I wonder if that's because it is stored on its side, and that is because I use the Tim Holtz storage containers, the tins that are made for it. And if I set that on its back, then they're all on their side. So I'm gonna have to check and see if they are all like that or if it's just a one-off kind of a fluke. So I ink up all of those banner pieces, and I'm liking how that's looking. And I apologize that I'm a bit off screen at the bottom there, but it's kind of hard to work really high on the screen when you're doing this because you can't see if the tops are lined up or not. So rather than gluing them all down, I'm kind of just playing with where I want them. And then what I will do is I will just go in and squeeze a little bit of liquid adhesive, the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive there, underneath each layer so that it adheres to the next one. And you're going to see that. So I'm just going to like lift up one and adhere it down, and hopefully it catches the one underneath it. And then I'll be able to move that entire banner section as one large piece. And I am working on top of that other piece of paper because that is giving me the dimensions for how wide I want it, because that paper is a 12 by 12 and this is a 12 by 12 layout. So I know I don't want to go beyond that paper, and I actually want a little bit of reveal on either side because if you look at the sketch, the banners don't go all the way to the edge of the layout. So that is why I'm working on top of that piece of paper. It's keeping me honest with how wide it is. So then I pull out this blue piece of paper, and I know that might look black on your screen. It's actually a navy blue wood grain from Kaisercraft. and I've had it in my stash for quite a while. I don't know the name of the collection, but I really like the way that it looks, and I know it's hard to see that it is a wood grain, but it definitely is a wood grain. So maybe you can see that in the close-ups. I will try to make sure I get a shot of that. I wasn't happy with how my close-up shots came out last time, so I'm going to reshoot them. And there you can kind of see see a little better that it is a wood grain. And then I'm using this blue paper at the top that actually has a white wood grain. It's like a faux wood grain, and that is from Pink Fresh Studio. And I inked that up as well. And all of those papers creating the banner pieces at the bottom were out of my scrap bin. And as you can tell, so is that Pink Fresh paper, because it's got a big chunk torn or cut out of the corner of it. So the only full sheet that I'm using is that background paper. And that brings me to Scraptember's prompt, which is scraps. So I am using scraps, and I'm using a lot of them, and it makes me really happy. And I find that, doing a layout with lots of layers is a great way to use up those scraps. So now I'm just adding this blue strip all the way to the bottom of the layout. And if you look at the sketch, it looks like there is a little bit of a strip of paper down there. And so that would be where your title would normally sit. My title is not actually going to go in that spot. I played with it in that spot and I wasn't happy with it. But again, I apologize that I'm off camera. I am going to move the whole thing up here in just a bit, I promise. So I'm just trying to get it lined up. And that's pretty much how it's going to look. I really like the way that this has turned out because it's got so many blues in it. It's just really pretty. And I do want to make sure that I get everything lined up across the top. I don't always do that, but in this particular case, I decided I wanted to because, well, first of all, the sketch has everything lined up. And because the banners are all kind of layered and wonky, they're not lined up, I wanted the photos lined up because I think it looks nicer that way. It would be a little more confusing to the eye if the banners are not lined up and the photos are not lined up. I think it would be a little bit too much. And this provides a little bit of order to my layout versus the chaos of, having things with all of the layers, the different lengths, the different widths. So, and obviously I was having a hard time lining up those photos, but there I got it, and I'm happy with how that came out. So I am going to use this chipboard piece. I believe the company is called Creative Embellishments, and I've had this in my stash for quite some time as well. It says Sunshine and Smiles, so I'm going to use that as my title, and I am just using some white gesso to make it white because I am going to spray it or paint it with some mist. I don't want to go directly over the brown because the mist has a certain level of transparency to it, and the color would not show up as vibrantly if it was on top of brown than if you put it on the white. So I think you can even tell just on the tan matte, it looks like a different color than it looks like when it's actually on top of the white gesso. So I did 2 layers of gesso on there just to kind of make the white even more opaque. And I really like how this came out. And the color that I'm using there is Nuvo. It's a Nuvo sparkle spray, and it's called Marine Mist. So I'm happy with how that came out. I am using my heat gun to dry it off a bit. There is a ton of silver sparkle in this mist, and so I want to make sure it's nice and dry because the sparkle does come off on your fingers sometimes even when it is dry, but I want to give it the best chance it has of not losing its sparkle and its color. So playing with where I want it, using my tweezers so that I don't actually get fingerprints on it and I don't get ink all over my fingers and actually pull the ink off of the finished piece. So I have these acrylic pieces. Those are from Color Cast Designs, and they are, I don't know if they're like little sunbursts. And so I'm just going to use those as part of my embellishments. And I'm keeping the embellishments really minimal on this, but I really like the way that it looks. I am pretty much following the sketch with where those are going. And I really like the way that they look. So I am peeling the backing off of these acrylic pieces in case you weren't aware that most acrylic pieces come with a backing on them, and you need to peel that off. And so I don't know, I just love the way that they look. And being that this is like an all blue layout and adding a little bit of that teal, and like I said, I had some pieces that were leaning more towards the aqua color. And that was really why I chose to have those aqua colors in there, was because I knew I was going to use these acrylic pieces, and that marine mist leans a little more towards the aqua color or turquoise color than the actual true blue color. And so I really like how it looks. I played around with adding those little ephemera pieces, and I didn't like them. So I decided not to add a bunch more words. I'm just keeping it really simple. I'm not going to add a bunch of text to this. There is one banner piece that has text, but it's all about the beach and the sea. But I'm not adding a bunch of other text. Just this little piece up at the top, and I think that's pretty much it as far as text pieces go. And then as far as journaling goes, I'm going to let my daughter do the journaling on this one, because she was with them when she's actually the one who took these photos. And so I'm going to go ahead and let her be the one to journal those. And I just provide a spot at the bottom for the journaling to go in. And while I finish that up, I will remind you to check out everyone else who's playing along with Scraptember and 30 Days of Sketches today. The links are down below in my description box. Tons of inspiration out there. A lot of people playing along every day. Some are playing weekly, some are playing just when they can. And so go and check it out, and leave them a little bit of love. And on that note, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for sticking with me and watching my videos. I really do appreciate you guys so much, and I appreciate that you choose to spend time with me. With all the other inspiration out there, I feel very blessed that you spend some time on my channel. So I really do appreciate it. And I do respond to all the comments. So if you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I do love to read them. It means a lot to me that you guys take the time to go ahead and leave me messages. So feel free to do that at any time. And if you have questions on any of my layouts, I am more than happy to answer those questions as best I can. And if there is a product that you're not sure about and I did not mention what it is, you want to know, you can leave that down below as well, and I will do my best to find out what the product is. So I am using those Color Cast Design acrylic pieces, but then I found those, they look like they're made from beads, but they look like a little asterisk as well, and they are an iridescent turquoise. I'm going to add those to this layout just to add a little bit of more sparkle to it. And then I'm just going to glue my title down with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I am pretty much going to call it done. Here come the close-ups. Thank you again for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this video today. I will be back again tomorrow with another video, so please come back and join me again. And if you've missed any of the videos so far this month, they are on my channel, and they are in a playlist for Scraptember or for 30 Days of Sketches, so you can revisit them there. Thanks again. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.